Well, just so everyone knows, you are now in the room with Elijah. This is my little fun thing to do while we're all quarantined for COVID and well, furloughed and figured out what can I do? What can I do to pass time by? And I said, hmm, let me talk to some individuals I know in my community that I run with or I've exercised with, and I've asked a few of them to just hang out with me for a few minutes. And so today we have the beautiful introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Alexa.
That's Alexa. So when everybody's on their tablet saying, Alexa, tell me this, that's whose voice that is right there. You're looking at her right now. So she's well known. She's on your tablet already. It's really cool. This is my friend. So we want to explain to the people out there in social media land how we met.
Sure. I think this is the day that we met. But it was a Wednesday run club.
Yep.
A run with West Midtown Run Club out of Lululemon on Howe Mill.
Here in the ATL. Yep.
Yes. Wednesdays. And it was Hill Repeat Day.
Yep.
And I had just recently started running with West Midtown Run Club, and I still didn't talk too much to too many people as I was getting to know everybody. And we went to King Plow Road, King Plow Hill. I don't know if that's the road, but we called it King Plow.
Yeah.
And I remember it was the first time I had seen Eli there. And he was running up the hill way faster than everyone else and high-fiving everybody at the top.
I don't remember.
And going back down and then beating everybody up to the top again. So I made it my mission to follow him the whole time.
Ladies and gentlemen in social media land, she followed me the whole time. I did not know this. I was unaware that I had someone chasing me until afterwards. And I said, oh, would you take a picture with me? She was grinning. Yeah, I followed you the whole way. Huh? And that is how we met. And we ran with West Midtown Run Club since then. That's been almost at least a year and a half, going on 2 years maybe.
Yeah, that was probably close to 2 years ago.
It was more closer to 2 years ago. It was. And yes, since then, let me see. Since then, you ran the Peachtree Road race.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. I think that's when I met your mom, huh?
That was the first time I ran it. Yeah.
The first time you ran it a lot.
Yeah.
You ran it twice.
Yeah, I ran it twice. Yeah. So the first time I ran with my mom. She wanted to finish in under an hour and 20 minutes. So she's not a big runner, but she was excited to do it. So I paced her and we finished at 1:19.
That was solid. I remember that. And then let me see, what else have I seen? Did you run Tessa's race, the Unity race? The one that she holds in the fall?
No, so I volunteer at all of Tessa's races. So almost every single one of Tessa's races, you can find me chasing Tess around. So I tend to do that. I just chase people around in my free time.
And so for all of those that don't know that's watching this video, like Tess, who says Tess is like our local superhero, just was a runner, started out with Black Girls Run, that I know. And from there, she progressively kept being involved and eventually became a race coordinator. And so she does the, what is that called? The race collective, the Unity race?
It's the race presented by the Unity Collective.
And her first race was a huge success. And she started the Running Nerds, and she's like the head person for the West Midtown Run Club. So that particular young lady is like, well known and respected in the running community in Run City, USA, Atlanta. And a lot of us are still running. Like my friend Alexa, we recently had a chance to run. How many miles did we do? 4?
We did 4.
We did
Yes.
4, and she drugged me up a hill. I want everyone to know. Drugged me up a hill. We started.
It was payback. It was payback from that time we
Drugged
first
me
met.
up the hill and then turned. Why are we running so fast? You know, it's okay. I recovered. But yeah. So this is a good friend, and she's a real good person. So the big deal about me doing these videos is just seeing how we all are surviving in the current times. And so, matter of fact, before you came on the video, I understand you was working with a client, so you are still able to work with a few of them.
Yes. So I do physical therapy, and currently we are still seeing patients in the clinic as we are considered essential. But that has been limited due to the amount of people that don't want to come out, which, we respect and honor. But recently, physical therapists have been granted the ability to treat and bill for services via telehealth. So I'm doing visits just like this, Zoom visits, but we use a different platform. But very much the same. So
I was going to ask that question. So how have you been able to reach out to other clients so that now you are able to reach out via Zoom and video? How does that work? I mean, does that, what are the benefits of working that way, and what's a negative of working that way?
So the only negative that I've found is that I can't get my hands on patients. So a lot of what I do is hands-on, including, joint mobilization, joint manipulation, massage, stretching, just understanding how the patient's body is moving.
Yeah.
So I lose that part of it. But because the body adapts so well to what's called active treatment, so exercise, those things I talked about, what I was just mentioning is passive, but the body responds so well to active treatment that we found that our patients are getting better, just as well through exercise via the telehealth workouts. So.
That's pretty cool. Do you see yourself and by the way, you work with, how many people you work with?
Patients or?
No, co-workers.
Co-workers, I have one other therapist with me and an office manager, office coordinator. So there's 3 of us in my clinic. It's a fairly small operation right now. We were on track to continue growing, but this has slowed us down a bit, but we're still seeing patients and still being productive and helping people, which is what it's all about.
So that's really interesting. Do you see this new this necessity of treating patients this way? Do you see yourself continuing that? Have you and the team discussed that yet? Do you mind sharing?
We've discussed a little bit. I think it's a huge step in the right direction for physical therapy. I think legislators pushed it through so that patients could continue to get seen, and I don't think they'll be able to take it away, or at least not quite as easily as they pushed it through. And as long as we can continue to show that patients are benefiting from telehealth physical therapy, I think it will continue. It's been great because even, patients that have been able to come into the clinic usually, and we're still comfortable coming into the clinic, if they missed because of work or, they didn't have childcare and they didn't want to bring their child in, we've been able to do telehealth visits that way. And I think that's really important. So rather than canceling their session altogether, they've still been able to get treatment. I think that's going to be huge moving forward. It may not be like our prime source or prime way of treating patients, but it's going to be a great resource to utilize in the future.
So it opened up some flexibility even for the staff and the client themselves to be able to be seen on time, scheduled wise, without having to stress to be in a specific place dealing with traffic. Right. So they can even adjust on the fly. Hey, I won't be able to make it to the office. Can we do it this way? So you can see that potentially still being a part of treatment.
Right. And it comes with some flexibility on the therapist's part. I mean, today I was out of the clinic at 4 o'clock, but I had a patient that couldn't be seen until 7. We did a 30-minute appointment before I hopped on here. So I'm doing that inside my home. Tomorrow I have another one. I don't normally work on Saturdays, but she couldn't get into the clinic. It was the only time that she was available to do telehealth. So I'm doing another one of these telehealth appointments on a Saturday when I would normally not work. So it's requiring some flexibility, but my goal and what I've always wanted to do as a therapist is to help people. So if I have to take 45 minutes out of my Saturday to make sure that a patient gets the care that they need, that's what I'm going to do.
That's huge. That's awesome. That's really awesome. And so, yeah, again, it's like I'm furloughed. I can't even go near my job. As a matter of fact, our manager at our property just sent a group text out to all the employees. We won't even, because I'm Marriott and I'm in the hospitality industry, they're not calling any furloughed employees back until, they're not even thinking about us until May. And so I've had to make some new life adjustments myself. I mean, I'm saying, oh, well, what can I do better, or what can I learn different, and how can I improve my life? So I've started doing like the Zoom interviews. And by the way, I'm quite sure you know Anthony Strayhorn. I've
Yes.
also spoken with him. We've done a couple of them already. And I've done one with my younger brother. And I plan on bringing this to the public starting in May. So it's one of those things like, how do you feel about this virus and how it's affected your personal life? You've done a great job explaining how in some ways it improved work. Work is, it's still work for you. It's not the same, but hey, you still are capable of seeing your clients. That's what Anthony said about it. Now, as far as an individual and interacting, because I know we ran with West Midtown Run Club. We're so used to seeing our friends. It's like, this is so depressing. If you've never been to Run City, USA, look, this is hard. This is hard on us. We're so used to seeing each other in the flesh. We have to have Zoom. We have to have Duel. Those things are a necessity in our life. We have to see each other on Facebook, like, yo, do a live. I want to make sure it's you. So how has it affected your life personally?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been grateful that I've still been able to work, because I know a lot of people aren't. The biggest thing for me is outside of work, I spend a lot of time in the gym and with the running community on Wednesdays at least, and sometimes more days. So with the closure of gyms, losing that, the group fitness, I did spin once or twice a week, and, really missing those girls, missing West Midtown Run Club. I used to go to a boxing class twice a week, missing the interaction with the coaches. I do what I do as a physical therapist, so I'm able to train myself in some capacity, but the motivation from the coaches and from the other individuals is just not, it's not the same. It's not the same. You don't have that camaraderie. So, I've definitely missed that. I've done the Zoom workouts with a couple of my instructors. So, that kind of fuels me a little bit. West Midtown Run Club, they're doing our normal days. They're doing a Zoom kind of check-in after we got caught on that one by ourselves. And I've been doing some, Zoom happy hours with some of my friends from all over the place. So that's a little bit different when we normally wouldn't do something like that. But, we're all home, so we have the opportunity to sit down and kind of just chat with, people that we don't always. So, I mean, it's change. It's not great. It's change. We're finding different ways to communicate. But, we're making it work.
Yeah, I myself, I've actually interacted more with my dad. My dad, bless his heart. Oh my goodness. My dad and I have interacted more, not so much Zoom, but I call him more now. And my mom, So I find myself, appreciative of the fact that, hey, I was slacking in that area. So
Yeah.
I was always busy because, like yourself, if it wasn't a run group I was with in the morning, back on my feet, or running with West Midtown Run Club, I started picking up running with Black Men's Run, or I'm at LA Fitness at least twice out of the week. I really haven't realized how much time I was out in the community until now.
Right.
I'm
When you
in
can't
a
be.
position where, yeah, I can't go to none of the groups, and it's like that's a crushing blow. I still find time to interact with those that don't mind, but it's like the largest group of people I think I've been with is 5, and that was large. We were large, and when we ran, we naturally were social distance based off of pace, um, where we ran, falling back, catching up. It was interesting. So yeah, it's I can understand where Zoom it's picking up. I don't see Zoom going anywhere anytime soon. I don't see the Amazon delivery, none of those type of businesses that have been able to deliver by car. I don't see them slowing down. And
Yeah.
so even with that being said, how does your clients feel? How have they been reacting to how treatment is going?
So different clients, different patients kind of experience it different ways. Initially we had, when it first hit and they were talking about the shelter in place and the stay at home order, we had, I would say, 40 to 50% of our patients just be like, I don't feel comfortable. I don't want to come in. And then through some education and talking to them about our hygiene practices within the clinic, and how much we're cleaning and how much precaution we're taking, making sure that we're not booking more than 10 patients that would kind of come across each other at one time, making sure that they're spaced out, letting them know that myself and the staff are quarantining when we're not at work, so that we're not putting them at risk. We're not out meandering with a whole bunch of people, so
You're
that
not
they
at the beaches.
No. But the option for telehealth has been huge. And then more recently, as the governor has reduced restrictions, we've upped our practices. So we're taking temperatures as we're walking in. So staff members are having temperatures taken. Every single patient and person with a patient that walks through the door has their temperature taken. We're now wearing masks. Patients are encouraged to wear masks. They don't have to, though. We're making sure that they stay at least 6 feet apart. I mentioned before that hands-on is part of physical therapy, so I'm always offering, okay, this is what I would normally do. Are you comfortable with me doing that?
So it's really changed your approach even to how you practice what you're trying to do.
And it has in some way.
Do you feel that's better in some ways, or do you think that hinders your ability, or is it something that you now are aware that, hey, I maybe could have done this all along? How do you feel about that?
I don't think it hinders my ability to help patients and help them get better. I think it's forced me to become more creative on ways to approach different situations. It's forced me to become better at communicating with my patients, with my staff members. And yeah, I don't think it doesn't really hinder, I don't think. It's just a change. As far as, the cleaning practices and everything, that's something we've always done. It's just something that's not been, I didn't feel like everybody was watching to make sure I cleaned everything.
Now everybody watches each other like, hey, that was 19 seconds of soap and water with your hand. It was 19, I counted. No, it was 20.
Yeah, the other day I was singing my ABCs when I was washing my hands. I try to keep it light in the clinic. So anything to make, people are stressed, people are scared, people are nervous. So We try to be a safe haven. We end up turning into, physical therapy, but everyone talks to us. They get comfortable. They see us 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
We make an effort to know something about each of the patients beyond, why they're there and what their injury is. So they become really open with us. So we become that psychiatric therapy sometimes as well, or just a venting block.
You're their friend. That's what that is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's why when I'm watching your Instagram, you have all these wonderful patients with your name, and it's great. They write so many notes. I mean, there's so many of them I've seen, like, since I've seen your page, that it's amazing. And you're their friend. So that speaks volumes of you and your staff. And I've seen you competing with some of the clients. I think you only show when you win.
Of course.
And I've seen a few wins. You won a lot. So that's good. That's good. So really, I guess at the end of the day right now, you're doing well as an individual, and you don't really necessarily feel too many negative effects from the current situation.
Yeah. Just trying not to feed into the negativity, I guess. There's obvious, negative things that are happening in the world right now, and it's negatively impacted how many people I'm able to help, and my ability to see my friends in person and have that community that we are so used to with West Midtown Run Club and things like that. So, but doing my best not to feed into the negative and really focus on the positive and what good has come of this. The resource to do telehealth, like you said, you've talked to your dad more. That's another thing I've done. I communicate with my mom all the time just because she's always has to check on me. But my dad, every once in a while, he's like, "You doing okay?" But started calling my dad every Saturday morning, and he's like loving it, and I'm loving it. So it's really good.
Yes, and that was one of my last little things. Like, what positive things do you see yourself doing? And habits that we start forming, I believe that'll stay with us. Which ones do you see forming? Like you just shared one, like, I'll call my dad. Now I'm calling him on Saturday morning. So do you see any other positive habits beginning?
Well, I started running more. We made this sound like I actually run a lot, but I really only ran with West Midtown Run Club on Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been running.
Someone told you was a runner.
Someone did. I still don't. I'm still not. I'm not. I've enjoyed it. So I've enjoyed kind of getting back out and running a little bit more. It's a little harder to push myself by myself, but I told you on Monday that was the best run I've had since we started the quarantine. So running more, really challenging my brain to program workouts for myself. I've been programming for my staff as well. So getting outside the box of just the rehab world. So
keep it up. So maybe I have to work out with me, and
we're gonna get
your motivation. I'll be your motivation. You'll be mine.
Yes.
And I can get rid of my 1 inch of flabby stomach.
I can't even. Sorry, this girl here wants to say hi because she is just.
Oh, we have a new guest, Stella. I believe that's her name.
Yes, this is Stella.
Hi, Stella.
Sitting by my feet.
And you wanted to get up. Look at that. That's a face that only a mommy could love.
It really is. All right, you got your 3 seconds of fame.
All right, it's been great interviewing with you. Would you like to share? Now you have a couple options. You can put in chat how, if someone is watching this and they want to reach out to you, even question about therapy, you can either leave in chat, or you can say it live, or you can do both, of how people and patients can reach out to you.
Sure. So I work with Benchmark Physical Therapy in Mableton, Georgia. But the easiest way to contact me personally is through Instagram right now, or Facebook. I don't use Facebook as much, but my Instagram is alexa.ebertdpt, Doctor of Physical Therapy.
Would you like to spell your last name for those that
Yeah, sure. It's
challenged?
no problem. It's E-B as in boy, E-R-T. Like Siskel and Ebert, give it 2 thumbs up. The movie critics, do you remember?
Oh yeah, I remember. I follow you already. I'm already following.
I was talking to one of my patients, one of my younger patients yesterday, and he asked about my last name and how to say it, and I said the movie critics because it was Siskel and Ebert, and then it was Ebert and Roper, and he was like, I've never heard of that. It's before Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. I've heard of it, so I know. Well, I thank you very much for doing this and spending the time with me. You're so awesome. And
absolutely. I'm putting my thing in my chat or in the chat.
Sure. And so by the time I edit this, it'll have a outro song that I wrote put on there. So everyone that hears this, the intro and outro song is a song that myself and a friend of mine in Denver right now, we put together, and so I get to use it. And it's fun. So to all that are out there in social media land, we want you to stay safe, and learn to eat healthy, definitely exercise, and get some spirituality. And I'm not saying you go to church because, well, you can't. That you had to stay in your car in the parking lot, but you can meditate more, you can pray more, pray for somebody's healing or something. Find something positive to do.